Welcome to today's community conversation session for Designcenter Solid Edge. I am Taryn Blake. I am the Community Engagement Program Manager for our Siemens DISW software community. And today we are talking about AI for smarter PMI and drawing creation in Designcenter Solid Edge. So very exciting and timely topic. Our speaker for today is Ali. He is one of our application engineers at Siemens Digital Industry Software, and he is specializing in developing and delivering high-quality technical enablement and marketing content for Designcenter and Designcenter Solid Edge. So he plays a key role in our product launches, global technical training, and providing pre-sale support, ensuring partners and customers worldwide can fully leverage capabilities of Designcenter and Designcenter Solid Edge. So that is all for my intro today. Ali, you are welcome to steal the screen and take over the presentation.
Thank you. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And if you can just give me a confirmation it's coming through. Let's go ahead and get us started on this session, which is AI for smarter PMI and drawing creation in Designcenter Solid Edge. So Taryn did the introduction for me. My name is Ali, and today we'll look over some good stuff as far as what's happening with AI and also with some model-based definition capabilities inside Designcenter Solid Edge. So if you were to get us started on the two most common workflows that designers, engineers, design managers, and everyone uses as far as how to get their parts to the shop floor to get manufactured, they use two common workflows. One is the drawing base that still a lot of companies these days use these, where they make a draft inside Designcenter Solid Edge, no matter what software, and then you'll push it to a 2D PDF, DWG, and so on, and get it to the shop floor. And this is where AI drawing can help you, and we'll cover that a little bit to help you with 70 to 80% completed drawings, and then you can start using some more drafting techniques to get that drawing completed. Also, a lot of customers these days, especially in the past decades, have started doing model-based definition, MBD, and this also is very popular inside Designcenter Solid Edge, where we have tools such as Auto Dimension, which automatically dimensions the model for you. A lot of different smart dimensioning tools. Dimension Checker, which allows you to check if your model is over constrained, under constrained, or just at the right spot, and also smart view creation. And on the model-based definition side, once you are done with annotating and adding the PMIs on your model, you either take it to a 3D PDF instead of a 2D PDF, or you can take that part downstream through other Designcenter applications for things such as CMM, VSA, or so on, depending on your need. So as far as the agenda today in this session, we will cover actually quite a bit on the AI drawing and also MBD. So first we'll cover AI drawing, and I see some questions are coming in on the licensing already on the AI drawing. We'll cover that. And then we'll move over to the MBD side. We'll talk over how you can intelligently PMI your model and some of the automation tools, such as the auto dimension we talked about. Again, the intelligent view creation automatically create the needed views for the model-based definition workflows. Best in class publish, if you wanted to publish your model to a 3D PDF and send it to the shop floor that way. Or you can also, as I mentioned, take those PMIs to other Designcenter applications. There is a lot of them that you can do, such as CAM, VSA, CMM, and so on, and see really how those PMIs come through between the Designcenter applications and Designcenter Solid Edge. So AI drawing. So if I were to separate AI drawings into 3 different categories as far as what it can achieve, it starts with automatically picking the sheet size and the scale of the model in the backend when you run this command. It will automatically create the needed views for you, whether it is 2 views, 3 views, depending on how many dimensions have to go on the model, whether it is the pictorial view or the broken views or so on, it can automatically create those for you. And finally, one of the most important parts, it will use AI to auto-dimension the model for you based on the needed dimensions on the specific model that you select this command for. So if we were to get into all those different sections one by one, let's get us started with the automatic sheet size and the scale and the views. So again, this is a new command inside Designcenter Solid Edge 2026. It's called automatic drawing, and you will see it on the home tab. And here we will get into an example a little bit as well to show you how the process works. With a single click, you can initiate this process. And of course, AI will predict the sheet size and base views for you. Of course, you can have these manually selected as well if needed. But again, in my opinion, the whole point of AI drawing is to automate these processes for yourself. So I usually always leave these on auto. Again, once these are selected, AI will predict the different views, the different sheet size based on the need and based on the model. And again, one very important thing about the AI drawing is the fact that as of right now in the 2026 version, it is parts only. Now, I know the questions are going to come in, what about assemblies and sheet metals? And I can assure you that is on the roadmap for the future versions. So right now, it is part only. So once we have the sheet size and a scale predicted, then AI can go in and start making the views for us, whether it is broken views or pictorial views, AI will do the job. And we had one question on the licensing already. AI drawing command is supported under VBL, which is the value-based licensing, and it consumes 15 tokens as of right now. So you can, if you have VBL, you can use this command. So again, if you don't know much about VBL, you can reach out to me. I'll share the information with you after the session. But to use this command, you need value-based licensing, and it is 15 tokens. Now, once we have everything set up and the views predicted, we can start dimensioning using AI. And again, these all happen in a matter of seconds. AI will dimension the model based on the part that is selected and the user preferences. Of course, there are 2 types of dimensioning that we can do. One is a stacked, and one is the overall, which give you the overall dimensions of the model. Stacked will give you a lot more details as far as the features. And the datums can also be selected. And again, these will be the points in which the AI will dimension from on the model. So let's go ahead and launch Solid Edge and see this in action. So I am inside the X version of Designcenter Solid Edge, and I have VBL. So here I can go ahead and start using the AI drawing. So if I were to open this part, I have a part here, which is not the most complicated part, but let's see how AI does. So again, on the Home tab, there is an automatic drawings command now, and you can launch it. And here, really all you have to do is pick the template that you want to use, and everything else is just done by AI. So again, sheet sizes, you can either select it manually or have AI automatically selected. Base views, same thing. And again, if you wanted the base view to be the front view, you can automatically select that. But I usually leave this as auto. You have the option to predict pictorial views if you wanted to. And there are two types of dimensioning, which is the stacked or overall. And these are your datums. I'm pressing OK. In a matter of seconds, we'll get a drawing out of this model here. And we can see the drawing actually looks pretty good. So the goal of AI drawing is to give you 70 to 80% completed drawings. And then you can go in and start playing around, add some more dimensions, take out some that maybe you don't think you would need, or do some sort of alignment, some sort of cleaning up on some of the dimensions, move them over, depending on your company standard. So again, the goal here is to give you that 70 to 80% completed drawing. If I were to open up another one, here's another part that I have. And again, I'll go ahead and run the AI drawing. I'll just keep the defaults, that is fine. And here I have another model dimensioned here. And honestly, this looks pretty decent already, so I may not need to do any cleanup or anything on these, but again, the goal is to give you that 70 to 80% completed. All right, back to the PowerPoint. We talked about AI drawings. Let's go ahead and start talking about intelligent MBD. So as far as the model-based definition workflows, if I were to separate it into 4 different categories, we'll start by intelligently authoring the PMIs. This is either manually or with automation tools that we have. Then we start creating views. And again, we have some automation tools for this as well. Then you can either publish it, as I mentioned, to 3D PDF, or take it downstream to other Designcenter applications and do it that way. So let's get us started with PMI authoring and automation, and in this case, intelligently. We have auto dimensioning available for you for your model-based definition workflows inside Designcenter Solid Edge. We've had this since 2023, but every year it has gotten better and better. So again, with this command, you can dimension your parts and sheet metals automatically and quickly with your own tolerances and call out the strings. All these settings can be saved to be reused in future. You have the ability to either dimension the whole model or just any selected feature, whether it is a hole or just another parallel face or so on. The command can be run by selecting 1, 2, or 3 datums, and this really helps in term parts because in some term parts we don't really have 3 datums or even 2 that are perpendicular to each other. So having the command be able to be ran by 1 datum is a great thing. And there are 2 types of dimensioning types available technically here, and we have a stacked and overall. We have a stacked and ordinate or the coordinate dimensions here. So 2 types of dimensioning schemes. Here are all the selected features that you can use for auto dimension. So if we have all those selected, we can automatically identify the planar faces parallel to the datums, all types of holes, cylinders, and also slots, right? So again, this is support for slots, overall oval cutouts, and also chamfers can also be identified using the auto dimension feature. And again, this is a great thing that we have had inside Designcenter Solid Edge for a while now, and I highly recommend everyone to start using this. And we can see this in action now. So let me just go ahead and close on some of these out. And let's go and open the sheet metal bar. Again, for auto dimension, you can do parts and sheet metals as well. So it's not parts only, it's also available in the sheet metal environment. Under the PMI tab, you can go ahead and see there's an auto dimension now. And this is available also as part of VBL or with the add-on of advanced PMI that we have available inside Designcenter Solid Edge. Once you run it, the first time, you usually will get the settings dialog pops up. And again, I have this turned off, so it doesn't pop up for me every time that I run it. But here's all the features that I can select to for auto dimension, the type of dimension, feature size dimensions. There are a lot of different options here. You can add your own tolerances if needed as well. For the datums, again, if you want to create datum annotations for ABC, the ones that you pick for auto dimension, you can play around with the settings from this tab. Feature callouts, I think we are all used to this, right? We use a lot of feature callouts every day in and out inside Designcenter Solid Edge. And for auto dimension, we can go ahead and customize it here as well. And finally, we have the smart depth. So once this command is ran, all you need to do is technically either select 1 or 2 or 3 datums. But once you go more than 1, you want to make sure that the datums are perpendicular to each other, because if they're not, you will get a little bit of warning on the screen that make sure you are selecting perpendicular planes. So I'm just going to select 1, 2, 3, and then in this case, I am doing the whole model, but you can also do manual feature selection and just right click to accept. And here I have a model with all these different dimensions. And these are ordinate or coordinate dimensions, as we can see. So if I were to go back a little bit here and run the auto dimension again, and in the properties do stacked, this time I am getting a stacked dimensions for my model. I mean, this command is a huge lifesaver for me. I use it every day in and out. So if you haven't started using this, I highly recommend using this as well. And if I were to just give you one tip when you start using auto dimension, sometimes when you want to do for manual feature selection, you may have features, especially holes with the same size. So if I were to use auto dimension here, I'll just go stacked for the scheme, not a problem. If I were to go to manual feature selection, and if I hold control and select, I select all the features with the same size. So in this case, I selected 2 holes. And if I do control and click, again, I am selecting all the holes with that same size. So that's a little bit of a trick for you in case you wanted to select all the holes with the same size. And again, I can do the exact same thing here and run auto dimension. And we can see that I am now only getting dimensions for the features that I selected, which are those 4 holes. All right. Dimension checker. This goes hands in hand with auto dimension. So again, we want to add the dimensions on our model, whether you are using really auto dimension or any type of dimensioning tool. And again, if you use auto dimension, since we are so good in dimensioning the model, you will get all greens on your model. But again, if you combine it with some other dimension tools, maybe you use auto dimension for a select few features and then the rest of them you do it manually. Maybe you want to go and check if your model is fully constrained based on the dimensions or if it's under or over. And this gives you that visual inspection as far as if the model is under constraint, over constraint, or just at the right spot. So again, this color codes the model for you, and each color means a different category. So for example, green is fully constrained, red is over, and yellow is under. And these will have all feature IDs. So if you go expand the dimension checker and click on any of these dimensions, they get highlighted on the model and vice versa. So the goal here is to run the dimension checker once and make sure that it is running. And then you can go start adding the necessary dimensions or take out necessary dimensions. And then all you have to do really after is to refresh this and everything will adjust with respect. So no need to keep running this over and over again. Just run it once, let it sit there, and go start adding your dimensions as needed and just see the magic happen. So back inside Designcenter Solid Edge, I will go ahead and open up another example to show you. Dimension checker. So here, again, one of my designers have come in and started adding the necessary PMIs on this model. But I really don't know what the status of those PMIs are. I don't know if I have enough. I probably don't, but just to check, I can run the dimension checker, pick my datums, and I can see that here is all the status of my dimensions. So again, under constraints, I have a couple of holes that are fully under constraints, so they don't have the necessary dimensions to be fully constrained. I have some dimensions that are missing tolerances. I don't have any over constraint, and I have a couple that are fully constrained. Now you may ask why this is not green and this is blue. That is because I did that just so I can see it better maybe. So if you were to go to settings, options, and colors. So inside the Designcenter Solid Edge options at the bottom, you have the dimension checker color. And here you can go ahead and play around and change these. The reason I did that is because when I run auto dimension again in a second on this model, when I select the faces, it will also do them as green. And here, if I were fully constrained, I would also be green. So it kind of gets confusing a little bit, green on green. You may not be able to see it properly. So I've just gone ahead and changed this to a cyan or like a light blue type color here. So again, I can see, and then I can start playing around with these dimensions, right? So for example, this dimension, maybe I want to add some sort of tolerance on it. So maybe 0.5 plus minus. And then again, you don't have to run this again. You can just come here and refresh. And now you can see that dimension has fully moved away from my missing tolerances to full, it's now fully constrained, or it's a good dimension technically. It has the necessary tolerances. I can also maybe use auto dimension. And one of the great things about auto dimension is the fact that If you have already some sort of dimensions on the model, auto dimensions will put them into account so it doesn't over dimension the model. So again, I have a couple here, and if I were to do this, I'll end up with some more dimensions that are necessary. And if I refresh now, everything is fully constrained. So again, that's another great thing about auto dimension. If you have a lot of dimensions on the model already, you don't have to worry about putting those dimensions twice on the model. When you run auto dimension, it will automatically account for those dimensions, and it makes sure that your model is not over constrained and it's right at the right spot. All right. Back to the PowerPoint. For the past couple of releases, we've added some usability enhancements as well inside Designcenter Solid Edge for adding your necessary PMIs, one of which is the hybrid annotation. So if you've used Solid Edge for a long time, you know that the way before to add the annotations to a PMI, which you would need with respect to many different standards, such as ASME, ISO, and so on. The way to do that was to add the PMI and then go do the annotation separately and attach them. But now, if you have the PMI in one workflow, you can add the annotation to it, and it will automatically be attached, so you don't have to worry about the annotation not coming at the right angle or so on with this feature. Just some more usability enhancements. Again, for the annotations, you can now add subscripts, superscript, and suffixes to your needed annotation. And again, these will get exported downstream to other Designcenter applications, JT, STEP, and so on if needed as well. So if I were to quickly jump in and show you an example. There we are. All right, so let's go ahead and open up another part. Here, I want to show you the hybrid annotations and also some of the subscripts, maybe superscripts, and so on. So here, let me go ahead and just quickly delete this annotation of here. And the hybrid annotation, the whole point is to add the annotations in the same workflow. So when you click on any of the PMIs, now you have the hybrid annotations from the VCB, and you can add any feature control frame if you need. And here you can edit it as needed, just like before. So now this is attached to the PMI. I don't have to worry about the location or how it's going to get read or so on. Another thing that I wanted to show you is the additional text options that we've added to the annotations, which is the superscript, suffix, and subscript. So you can add whatever you need to these, and the preview will show up as well. So if I were to just add something like this as a subscript, you can see the preview is there. You can see exactly what's going on. So again, just a little bit of a usability enhancements on the PMI. Some more on the model view creation as far as what we can do to automate this process. Again, we have a command, which is the common model views, that can automatically create model views for you. So you just pick whatever model views you want, and it will create it for you. And again, there are a little bit of caveat to it, right? So if you use, the front, back, left, and so on, model views, we will add all the dimensions that are parallel to that view to it. And then if you use any of these three, then we will add all the dimensions. Of course, you have the choice to go in and hide some of those dimensions, deselect them, and so on. Again, this is what I was talking about. So orthogonal views include PMIs parallel to the view, and also the pictorial views, the bottom three, will include all the PMIs. Section views. From VCB, now you can select the section views to be included to any of your views that you have selected or it's active on your screen, any of your model views. All you have to do is edit into that model view and just select which of the sections you want to include into that model view. Again, this is a huge time saver. We've also added an option inside the VCB for include in published 3D PDF. So again, a lot of our customers have come back and said, hey, I have hundreds of model views, and when I go publish them, I don't know exactly what model view I have selected to publish. I don't know which model view is which. So in this case, when you select the model view, when you create it, you can go inside and edit that and include in publish 3D PDF. When you have that checked and you go to publish your 3D PDF, that model view will automatically be checked for publishing. So you don't have to double guess yourself exactly what model view you are publishing at the time. Arrange, we've had this in the drawing environment, and we have it now in the 3D as well. This helps you arrange the dimensions automatically based on the model views that you have. And this works with the stacked and chain dimension as well as coordinate dimensions and linear dimensions. So again, if your dimensions are not as clean as you would like them to be, you can just run a range on them and have Designcenter Solid Edge do the work for you. And sometimes when you make some changes to your model views, the model views go out of range. Now, per se, since the new workflow of modifying the model views is the fact that we make the model view active, the model view automatically gets changed with all the changes that you have applying to it. But sometimes the thumbnail in the model view palette can go out of range. So that would be the workflow that you would need the up to model views for. So if that thumbnail is ever out of range on the model view palette, you can go ahead and update that model view and everything adjusts on the spot. So let me go ahead and go back inside Solid Edge here really fast and just show you some of these things that I just mentioned really fast. So I can go ahead and bring up a part. So first, I want to create some model views on this. Again, I will go ahead and do this automatically from the PMI tab. If I just check out the license here for my Solid Edge Advanced PMI, I can go ahead and create common model views. So again, just tell Designcenter Solid Edge what model views you want. Maybe I'll just keep isometric 2 and create them. With the model view palette, I can see all the model views here on the spot with all the necessary dimensions. And I can right click on any of these model views and edit them. This is where the VCB comes into play. And of course, if I have a section, I can go ahead and apply it. If I have different render styles, I can go ahead and apply it as well. So maybe that is what I want. And if my dimensions are not as clean as I would like them to be, I can go ahead and maybe run an arrange on them and arrange them with respect to the model. So it looks much cleaner and better. But again, sometimes this thumbnail may not adjust until you switch the model view. And if that is the case, you can go ahead and use the update model view to see this adjust right on the spot. Now, there are more things you can do with the VCB, right? So for the PMIs, if you don't like them, you can deselect all the PMIs from the model view, for example. So this doesn't have all the PMIs that are added to it, and then you can start adding your own PMIs. And again, the workflow is simple, right? Whenever you have a model view selected, it becomes active. So all the changes that you are making on the model view will be there on the model view. So you don't have to, as before, go and look at some of these dimensions here and manually add them to the necessary model views. That was the workflow for a long time ago inside Designcenter Solid Edge, but now with this workflow, if the model view is active, all the dimensions will automatically go ahead and go get added to that model view, which is pretty cool. All right, so just a couple of more slides for me. Best in class publish. So when we publish to 3D PDF, for the past couple of releases, we can now export section views to 3D PDF as well. And this can be a single, multi-plane, or legacy section command. So all those are supported. And also section views will go on to other Designcenter applications as well. So if you make a section view inside Designcenter Solid Edge and you wanted to move it down to Designcenter itself, you can go ahead and do so, and the section views will come through for interoperability. Render styles also go through to 3D PDF as well. So this is something we've added in the past couple of releases. Intelligent face association, I think this is huge for a lot of you that use 3D PDF. You want to highlight the faces when you go ahead and select a dimension. And this is supported as well inside 3D PDF. And also section views. So if you select any of the model faces and you go into section view, if you select any of the PMIs inside a section view, they will get highlighted. Parts list, this was highly requested, and now we have it inside Designcenter Solid Edge. So in the template editor, you can go ahead and add your needed parts list with all your necessary custom columns that you have. And once you go ahead and publish, you'll go ahead and get the parts list that you would need in terms of assembly with all your custom columns. So just to see this in action, and again, that was the section view in 3D PDF, that was the render styles, and this is the intelligent face association, right? So if I click on any of the annotations, they get highlighted. Parts list, we were talking about this, right? So you can add this in the template editor with all your needed custom properties. And once you publish with that template, you'll go ahead and get a parts list inside your 3D PDF. And it is interactive, right? If you highlight anything on the parts list, it gets highlighted on the model and vice versa. And of course, with the 3D PDF publish module, you can go ahead and publish a JT and a step if needed as well. So just one final section for me. Maybe you add your PMIs inside Designcenter Solid Edge, but you want to take it to downstream applications inside Designcenter to do some more operations with those PMIs. For example, a lot of our customers do CMM, inspections, and they do VSA, for example, or even CAM, right? Maybe you need the PMIs to take it downstream to do something inside NX CAM. And with this interoperability that exists between the products inside the Designcenter suite, you can go ahead and easily do so. So all the PMIs and annotations that get added inside Designcenter Solid Edge, they seamlessly flow into Designcenter X for downstream applications. And I have a picture here that will exactly explain what I mean, right? So all the annotations and the PMIs are coming through inside Designcenter X for some downstream applications. And one of those downstream applications, if I were to give you an example, would be CMM, right? The PMI-driven inspections. You want to read your PMIs directly from your model inside, for example, Designcenter CMM. So no manual interpretation. You want to make this process automated. And you can go ahead and do so with the interoperability that exists between Designcenter suite. So for example, here, this is the same Solid Edge part that we saw a little bit ago. And you can see that all the model views have come through, including the section views with the PMI inside Designcenter CMM. And we can go ahead and start our CMM program. So bring our inspection machine, and we need to do some pre-setup on this model here. So maybe we need to define some alignments as far as some points. No problem, we can do this. And again, this is all possible with the interoperability of the PMIs coming through from Designcenter Solid Edge to Designcenter X. So here, maybe we want to do some alignments for some of the features. Again, there are many different alignment types inside Designcenter CMM, and we can do so. And you can go ahead and link your PMI, right? So all the PMIs are coming through and they are linked, as you can see. And finally, we can start doing some feature recognition with collision for CMM as well. So we can create those paths based on the features and also do some automated collision checks as well to make sure that everything's working accordingly and our machine is not colliding with our part. No problem. Those are all the inspection paths that were created based on the features that you want to inspect on this part. And just some collision avoidance to make sure everything's in order and nothing is hitting each other. And once this is done, again, we can go ahead and start running the inspection program. And here's the output. And again, all of this is possible because of the interoperability that exists between Designcenter Solid Edge and Designcenter. All right, so with that being said, that was the end of the presentation for me. I know that we have a lot of questions in the chat, so I'll go start answering those in the chat, and I'll just hand it over back to Taryn to take it over.
So this is the URL for the community forums. This is where the recording will be posted on Friday, including the Q&A that we're about to go through. So I did want to make sure that you guys have that, bookmark it. You can see there that we recommend that you follow the topic, which means that when you log into the community, you will see the Solid Edge, Designcenter Solid Edge topics on your homepage. So that's what that's showing you there. They would like us to inform everyone, if you do fill out a G2 survey on the page there, which is helpful to other potential customers about your experience with Designcenter Solid Edge, they are able to track that using that QR code and will issue you an Amazon gift card just as a thank you for your time. And this, our customer event. If you've been around Siemens for a while, you're probably familiar with the annual Realize Live events. They happen in different regions. So the United States event for this year is already passed. The Europe event for this year is already passed, but there are two events happening in Asia. So one in Bangalore, India, which is coming up next week. And then there is the Realize Live China event, all in Mandarin, which is happening in Shenzhen later in August. So definitely you can click on either of those there or Google Realize Live India, Realize Live China for more information. And then this is back to the contact for Ali. I have his email address there. That's the survey for the G2 via the QR code and the link for the forums. If you did not get that, you can click there and bookmark those things. That is it for announcements. So let's see how many of these questions we can get through before the end. If you need to steal the screen back, you can definitely do that as well, Ali.
Yep, thank you. I see we have a lot of questions. I can take one or two. So I think a lot of questions are coming in as far as the VBL for the AI drawing. So you would need VBL for AI drawing, right? So that's the way to get access to it. Is it planned to make AI using GDT? I think GD&T. There are talks in the background. There's nothing set in a stone for AI being able to do that, but I think that's a really good application of AI. So I 100% agree with that. So maybe I'll take that to the product managers and I'll share your feedbacks with them as far as using AI for GD&T. Let's see. Is the common model views also only VBL? Common model views is part of the advanced PMI module, which can also be purchased as its own add-on, but it's also available in VBL as well. So that's another one.
Okay. And then I'd remind everyone as well to use the forums. So after this call is over, especially for those watching the recording, if there is a question that you have about this, you're welcome to post them underneath the recording. And we have members of our Siemens team that do view that area and should be able to help you there. So definitely take advantage of the forums. And if that's it for now, as I always say, we'll see you in the forums. And then hopefully a few of you guys will make it out to Realize Live in Asia as well. Okay, that's all for us. Thank you, everyone. And we will see you next month for our next session.